Hello everybody, you are welcome to today's edition with Diplomacy with Akwesi. Today, for this very lesson, we'll be looking at what is a position paper, how to write a position paper, and before we look at how to write a position paper, we'll also touch on the very key features of a position paper. So get your pens, your books, and yourself ready for this very lesson. Let's start. What is a position paper? A position paper can be said to be an academics paper that stipulates or states the stance, the position of a person, a country, or an institution in a said topic. And so the position paper is widely used in academia, it's also used in law, it's used in politics, and of course it's used in the United Nations. And yes, it is very much used in Model United Nations as well. You remember in our previous class, we said that with Model United Nations, you are simulating the Royal UN. So if the Royal UN uses position paper, it would mean that in Model United Nations, we'll also be using position papers. Now let's look at the features of a position paper. What will make your position paper the best among your colleagues in your committee when it comes to MUNs? 1 is title, 2 is introduction of topic, 3 is the body of topic, and that 4 is the conclusion, and the very last one, the very most important one, is the reference. Now let's look at it one after the other, and would, in attempt of looking at the features, also try to note how to write a very good position paper. Right, so with the title contains your name as a delegate, your country that you are representing, the committee that you find yourself in, and the topic itself. So an example can be given. As your name is Akwesi Boache, the country you are representing is, say, Australia. Which committee do you find yourself? The UNICEF. The next one is the topic. What is the topic UNICEF is treating? Then you can state, let's say, the pandemic of COVID on children. The pandemic of COVID on children. That is your topic. So you state that clearly in your title. The next one, you move to the introduction of the topic. What topic are we treating as a committee? And we go back to our example where we used the pandemic that has affected children with regards to the UNICEF committee. In the introduction of the topic, you would have to highlight on how the topic came about. So with this pandemic on the children, during this COVID, it clearly indicates that your introduction should go back to even touch on how COVID started and how some children elsewhere, maybe not in your country, have suffered from this very pandemic, right? So you can give a brief history about your topic, and that should be part of your introduction of topic. We move on to the body of your topic. How has this topic really affected your country of representation? I'm representing Australia. Maybe in some part of Australia, the pandemic has been so severe that some children elsewhere have been seriously angered and they have no food, famished, they have no food to eat. The body of the topic gives you the opportunity for you to state this very point and this very authority in there, right? With regards to the body, you can cite some UN charter, you can cite some authorities, You can also cite some very key articles on the said topic. You can even cite any literature at all. That would make your point and what you are saying very rich. Remember, at the end of the day, it is about how rich your position paper becomes and how appealing and how it clearly states your position. That's what we are talking about. So your body can entail that. You quickly move on to the conclusion. With regards to the conclusion, you state clearly your point, your position, your stance on the said topic. Pandemic on the children of the world currently. What is your stance on it? As a country, are you ready to give funds for UN to use to get food for the children who are hungry elsewhere? You state all those things during your conclusion. State clearly your position on that. And yes, you can also highlight some very key pragmatic solutions. Pragmatic, that means it should be practical enough, such that when the UN picks it and it wants to implement it, it will be easy for it to implement it. It shouldn't be idealistic, it should be very practical, so that it will be easy for it to be implemented. The next one has got to do with what we call the reference. The reference states clearly where exactly you got your information from. I'm representing Australia, so obviously I would have to source information from the website of the government of Australia. That one would be, let's say, my primary source of reference. Then we'll look at some UN charters, we'll look at some articles, we'll look at some journals. You state all of them. You can use the AP style of reference or any other referencing style, but you know, it's very important. Before we end this session, let me quickly say that a very appealing and well formatted position paper too really counts. So why won't you design and well format your position paper with your country's emblem or your country's logo or your country's seal, government seal, to make it much appealing and for it to look much official? That one you are not restricted. That is well allowed. Somebody too may ask, how many pages of position papers do you have to write? First of all, get to know that it is actually a summary of your stance. It is a summary of your position. So it shouldn't be anything long. But one thing you should note that every MUN, that is every model United Nations, and the format they come with the kind of pages you should write as a position paper. I've attended some MUNs where you were asked to write just a half page of your position papers. Others would also ask you to write just 1 page of a position paper. Others too would leave it open. That would mean that you can write as many as you want. But with that, I would advise you write just about 1 to 3 pages. Others will also restrict you to 2 pages. I don't think I should have all the key features and all the major serious essentials and information in there. And that would make it one of the best position papers. In terms of ranking, you may be ranked the first and get the award of the best position paper. We've come to the end of this very lesson. If you enjoyed the lesson, click on the link down there, subscribe, like the video. You can also share the videos for other students or other persons interested in MUN to also watch and enjoy these very lessons thereof. We'll be here again sometime later to discuss on something else that may interest you. Until then, I would admonish you to live diplomatically. Thank you for watching.